Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another final of the Singapore Sevens. This one, no surprises here. It is New Zealand versus Australia for the women's final. It has been a battle that has taken place in multiple finals throughout this season. This game's no different. And currently, it's hard to say who's going to win this one. There's normally about a 50-50 split. I think New Zealand have that slight advantage in terms of the odds, but that can all change when there's players like Maddie Levi in this Australian team. And speaking of the Australians, the rest of their lineup, they will be as follows. Heidi Dennis is there, Isabella Nasser as one of the two co-captains alongside Madison Ashby, who is also in the starting team. Tegan Levi's there, Soraya Parky, and also Faith Nathan. In terms of this New Zealand starting lineup, Georgia Miller, she had a great game in the most recent fixture up against the USA. Stacey Waka, Kelsey Tanetti, Reese Poldy Lane, Mahina Paul, Braxton Sorensen McGee, and Jasmine Felix Hotham, the last woman in New Zealand. Starting lineup, New Zealand had to shut down Maddie Levi. Yes, if they do that, like they did in, I believe it was the last women's final between these two sides, they were able to stop her from getting possession, and that in turn helped New Zealand get a comfortable win. If Maddie Levi is not shut down though, it can be a whole different story. She's one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous player on the whole women's circuit. Up the Kiwis go, girls. Currently 83% voted New Zealand to win, says Xander. So yeah, maybe Kiwis, they are a bit more of a favourite than some do expect, but both national anthems have now been sung, which means this final is just about to get underway. Now, we've just seen New Zealand get themselves a win over the South Africans in the bronze final for the men's side of things, 14 points to 12. I think this game's going to be higher scoring than that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see about 7 tries between these two teams. But New Zealand, they look fired up for this contest. The Australians, they will feel like maybe that last competition they should have been able to do better. And they'll love nothing more than to take the Kiwis off the top spot and get themselves a big win here. Go girls, go Kiwis. Sears Vanguard there. Sunny Lee is going to be the referee in charge of this one. Her 6th final, so she's probably refereed quite a few of the finals taking place between Australia and New Zealand. And of course, let me know your score predictions in the comments as well. Who won the last game between these two teams? The last game was won by New Zealand. That was actually the final of the last competition. And then I believe they also played the competition beforehand in the final too. Do I know Kuth Beth? No, don't think so. Oh, the ball has been delivered. Oh no, he fell over. He's all right now though. He got back up to his feet. We're now ready to go for this matchup. New Zealand are going to be kicking off from right to left. Good afternoon, Hamish says, hey, no, welcome in. If you are doing extremely well, and I hope you're excited for this final between the two teams as we get underway. New Zealand kicking it down towards Australia's 22. Ball claimed by the Wallaroos Sevens side. Soraya Parky in possession, tackled by Mahina Paul. And 23-32, New Zealand to win. And next level stuff from the ball boy says starts race. Yeah, the way he was running on like sideways angles, I feel like I definitely would have fallen over as well. You know, or why do you look like a Taco Bell employee? I don't know what a Taco Bell employee looks like. All I know is I've never had Taco Bell. So they probably should hire me because employee discounts aren't a thing for me because I haven't had it. Come on, New Zealand, says Ano there. New Zealand to win 28 points to 19. And also we did have there, I missed one earlier on, Kia ora bro from Wales. Says Andrew Neal, so greatly appreciate you popping in for this one. We've got Katzenell here too. Come on, Aussie, says JD. Now ball is about to be fed into the scrum by Braxton Sorensen McGee. I think that's the New Zealand head coach. Now, I'm not a great lip reader, but I can always read when someone's sworn, and he just said the F word, so I'm not sure what he's swearing about. I think it's probably to do with the nerves, the early stages of this contest. These sides love nothing more than to beat each other. In the Sevens final now, passed away to the left-hand side. Braxton Sorensen McGee, ball on the outside. Jasmine Felix Hotham, she's going to have a free run-in to score the try. No one in front of her. And New Zealand take the lead early in the women's final. It's going to be the 5 points for the Kiwis. It's not the easiest kick at the post, but just using the back line off the scrum. And the gap opening up. Braxton Sorensen McGee shoveling it on one more. And New Zealand strike early. Great to see the Stormers losing back-to-back games. Hey, from on board a ship in the Atlantic Ocean Go the Kiwi girls. Whereabouts are you sailing to? Captain, do let me know. Or sorry, Captain Ted it is. Would you rather be a farmer for a day than earn millions dollars or be with a beautiful girl for a month? Says Peps Watts. Would you rather be a farmer for a day than earn $1 million? So you earn $1 million for farming for a day. Surely you just do that then, don't you? And then if you have your $1 million, you probably have quite a few ladies who are quite interested in your farmland. But now going off to the right-hand side, here's Georgia Miller running up the middle of the field, and she breaks through 2 tackles, does it again. Georgia Miller scores another try. They just don't seem to be able to stop her. Slips through everyone. Now makes the score 12-0 for New Zealand. On the way to Mauritius from Norway, docking 23rd of February. So hopefully you are enjoying it. I assume it's some sort of, is it a cruise ship or is it like a cargo ship? And good to hear you sounding well, bud. And Maya Stewart says go in there as well. And Georgia Miller says, hey, no. Statistically, the team who scores the first try wins 77.6% of games. Well, there you go. That would mean, theoretically, New Zealand with 2 back-to-back tries in this final would have a very good chance of going on to win it. And Miller's fend is a weapon, says Studs Race. The step as well. The step is what creates that opportunity. And then the fend just makes sure that no one even gets close to being able to stop her. But the ball now claimed by the Australians. They are just outside of their 22. Maddie Levi looking for the possession. Receives it from her sister. And New Zealand are cooking the Aussies right now, says Peps Walks. Ball pass back across Madison Ashby, I should say. Gets through the tackle attempt of Tinetti. It's going to be a foot race down the wing. Ashby thought about the inside pass, doesn't decide to do it until later on, then gives it off to Maddie Levi, who almost got wrestled into touch by Tinetti. Now back across to the left, Tegan Levi up to the halfway line for Australia. This is their most dangerous attack that we've seen thus far. Big collision there between Ashby and Tinetti. Another penalty goes against New Zealand. Quick tap taken by Tegan Levi. Passes off. Oh, this is going to be a yellow card, I would think, for New Zealand, or at least it should be. Levi is protesting, but it's going to be kicked in behind from New Zealand. It becomes a foot race, and Dennis gets to it. That is Heidi Dennis. I have no idea how that wasn't a deliberate knockdown from New Zealand, but they will play on. And it happened that long ago. I assume they can't go back to it now, but it is wrestled into touch. And it is going to be the line out for New Zealand. We have got there, Hamish, could you please make a contents? Ask Kiwi woman to take it easy, please, says JD. Oh, sorry, make it a contest. And Georgia Miller, how good, says Captain Ted. Kyle Jamieson is the worst cricket bowler in the Black Cat squad, although he didn't have the worst figures out of everyone in that last T20, did he? And Union NZ Rugby players should be barred from playing sevens, says Katsanel. You're talking about just the women's game, or you're talking about in general? On off to the left-hand side. Chance to move this one off, and it looks like there might be a bit of a facial injury for one of the Aussie ladies. Now Tinetti passes it back across to Jasmine Felix Hotham. 100 seconds now remaining on the clock. Pauri Lane off to Georgia Miller. Miller benches 125 kgs. Says Xander. Women, they are just too good, says Katzenau. Although Australia have had players who have played for the Wallaroos as well. In fact, they even brought in a Wallaroos player for this competition. They normally would have Charlotte Caslick, who would have been playing in that Rugby World Cup had it not been for her injury. Now Georgia Miller cuts back on the inside. Oh, she just cut through 2 of them again. I don't know how she does it, but she does it all right every single time. Gets through, and it's another try to New Zealand. This final's getting a little bit more one-sided than people would have been anticipating. You were saying Lockie Ferguson will get injured, and Lockie Ferguson was the only one trying to bowl good. The thing is, though, he's bowled for 1 game. If he gets through the whole World Cup, good. But if he gets injured beforehand, it's expected. Delivering a new-built ship for an Aussie company. Nice. From Norway to Mauritius. What company's based out of Mauritius? I wonder. But Maddie Levi, she sits as the number 1 on the series tries. Georgia Miller sitting in second. And Repia Lunisau, the Fijiana lady, is sitting there in third. Go the girls. There's a Vanguard there. And also we have got there up the Kiwis. There's Ella Now breaking through the tackle attempt from Tegan Levi. New Zealand had the additional 2 as well, I should mention. So they are sitting on 19 points now rather than the 17. 2 seconds remaining in this first half. A knock on in the breakdown. New Zealand pick it back up. It was just going to be the end of the half, but instead it's going to be a punishing blow. And Mahina Paul does score another try for New Zealand. This one, you'd have to say, is, unless something very drastic happens, this final's already pretty much over in favour of New Zealand. They are just dominating in this contest, not allowing Australia to get the ball. How many tries difference between Madison and Georgia? So Georgia Miller had 18, Maddie Levi had 23. So currently 5 tries difference, and then Repio Lunisau had 17, and then I'm not sure who was down the next ranking on the list. This is like a fire competition when you are using sticks and your opponent are using matchsticks to start a fire. So here's Katzenell. And yeah, what Aussies? So here's Vanguard, but currently halftime in this contest. It is 24-0 in favour of New Zealand. Felix Otham with the tackle. New Zealand scramble D is great. Do you prefer Jacob Duffy or Will O'Rourke? So here's Pep's Walk. Depends. I like Duffy's work rate. The fact that he bowled a lot of overs throughout 2025 and also took the most wickets throughout a calendar year for any black cap ever. But like Will O'Rourke, because of that height and that little bit more pace, depends on whether you like the seam or whether you like the swing, doesn't it? I know this is getting ridiculous, what's happening with Australia. So here's Xander. The thing is, they did quite well throughout the rest of their competition, with the exception of their last group stage fixture up against the USA. They almost lost that game. And had they lost it, that would have actually made this game the semi-final. Will you be watching Fiji versus France? We certainly will be. That's going to be an incredible game of rugby. They are both undefeated at this stage up to the competition. I predicted 14 points to 12 as the scoreline. Sadly, I don't think that's going to happen now because the bronze final between the men's side was 14-12, so I feel like I maybe predicted the wrong game to be that score. But I can see a low scoring one between the teams. Either that or it's just going to be a try-fest between Fiji and France. And up Fiji, says Vanguard. I thought Aussie would be competitive for this final. I thought they would be a lot closer than 24-0 as well. To be honest, like I thought we were going to see a bit more of a seesaw, but they just have had those couple errors that have hurt them a bit too much. I thought Aussie, oh no, I read that one. And she's Scottish. There's Ella's there. Currently 25 minutes away from that Fiji versus France final taking place. New Zealand Sevens are too good, says Vanguard. And glad didn't bet on this one, says DJ. I assume you're saying you're glad because you may have been back in Australia, right? In that case. And it does make me wonder, though, if these two sides are playing off in the next competition, does New Zealand get kind of hit hard on the odds and Australia become bigger underdogs, or will it still be kind of that 50-50 like we're used to seeing as Will Jordan playing? Says Jason, I saw he was playing in some sort of cricket match recently for like a Christchurch boys, like old boys situation. Now going off to the left-hand side, breaking through, nicely done by, I believe it was Isabella Nasser. That's the first time I've seen her throughout this final. One of the co-captains hasn't really been able to lead from the front as of yet, but they just haven't had the position to be able to do so. Now, big tackle made by Resi Pori Lane. Tegan Levi tries it. Oh, that was interesting. Kicks it in behind. Kicks it dead, in fact, for Tegan Levi. That just seemed like they were out of ideas, Australia, but they had hardly put together an attack. Just seemed like it was a rushed attempt to get something going. She's holding her hip now. Or in fact, maybe, yeah, I thought it was her hip. So maybe there was an injury there and she wanted to get the ball out so that she could be subbed off. But tackle completion at the moment for Australia is 29% in this game. They have made 2 tackles. They have missed 5. And unfortunately for them, those missed tackles, probably at least 2 of them have led to New Zealand tries. Well, kicking away after a couple of phases inside of New Zealand's 22 as well. Grubbering it dead, which to me just seems like a really weird choice when you haven't had the ball. That was their opportunity to build phases, score the try, and then keep on working on back-to-back. Are you picking Jamie Joe to get the nod? He looks the most likely, although Dave Rennie's name's also getting thrown around quite a bit at the moment. Now, Risipolri Lane from inside of New Zealand's 22. I can tell you right now, they will not kick this ball away. After a couple of phases, Mahina Paul has Taneri with her. She has thrown it behind. Has to pick it up out wide. Faith Nathan trying to line her up. Another big bump off there. Isabella Nasser Finishes the job though, quickly played by Felix Hotham. Georgia Miller, open space for her, steps around one, has the pass on the outside. It was a bit of a hospital pass to her teammate. Set her up big time, and Saley not able to hang on to it. Will be now the scrum for Australia. Are you covering any NRL in 2026? I am hoping to cover a little bit of it, but not sure of the extent as of yet. As you know, it does overlap quite a bit with Super Rugby. And Shaw says Vanguard, Ratcham Ravindra seems like a one-season wonder. Devon Conway should bat at 3 for the T20 World Cup, says Peps Wax. How about that Finn Allen batting, though? Comes back into the side. Hopefully everyone has at least seen some of the result. Well, I'll try not to spoil too much. But yeah, Finn Allen's just in dream form heading into the competition. 5 minutes remaining here in this contest. Looks like another change is being made. Tarita makes her way on for the Australians. So only the 5 minutes remaining. Sunny Lee seemed to enjoy that big tackle. Says Studs Race. Australia snapped a 4-game losing streak in cup finals against New Zealand in Cape Town. Oh yeah, they won in Cape Town, didn't they, the Aussies? I said that New Zealand won the last one, but New Zealand won the first one. Australia won the one after. I was thinking of that one-sided game in Dubai. And that one's going to go into touch. Unfortunately, just running out of space again there for the Australians. British Moonga coming back this year, says Vanguard. Yeah, we'll be available for the November internationals. But won't be playing in Super Rugby this year, I don't think. I think it's next year's Super Rugby he's available for, right? Ready to throw it in again here for New Zealand. It is Risipolri Lane. Goes in nicely, taken by Georgia Miller in the line out. Felix Hotham. Cross to the left again. Lot of space for Mahina Paul once more. She's got more pace than I remember her having. She throws it on the outside. Bit of a loose ball. Picked up by Felix Hotham. Breaks through and scores another one for New Zealand. Not only are they winning, but they are winning comfortably here, the Kiwis. 29-0 at the moment, the way that it sits. This is one of those games that for Australia, you just hope it's over soon. Will Oz get a donut? I'd like to think they'll score one try. Are you covering South African Tours this year? We are going to be doing the commentary on the channel, yes. Alongside a lot of other international rugby, the Sevens, and also a lot of leagues around the world too. And Go Girl says Vanguard. Yeah, this has been one of the more one-sided games we have seen between New Zealand and Australia. And that kick has gone over again. So just adding the additional 2 points, rubbing it in a little bit for this New Zealand side. And series carries. Jasmine Felix Hotham is currently 5th with 53. Georgia Miller, one more than her with 54. That one's kicked out on the full. We have got there, why can't Glenn Phillips smash sixes like he has too much physique? Says Peps Wax. I think in the 4th T20 he did all right, 6-wise, didn't he? So much for a Rebel 360 comp, says Jason. Yeah, they have tried to really scrap that World Rugby, but I think it's coming in after the World Cup, which makes perfect sense to me because like trying to do it before the World Cup just means you're going to have a whole heap of people who have to piss off their international sides. So by doing it straight after the World Cup, they'll probably have a lot of players interested in joining it. So it could end up growing quite substantially. That's going to be a quick tap taken there by Isabella Nassar. Australia finally have a little bit of momentum in their favour. Nice step on the inside. Another tackle made on Caitlin Shave. Now left-hand side again. New Zealand wanted to keep Australia to 0 in this game. Tia Hines. And does Liana Makeli too also play sevens? I don't think so. I know that from that team, the likes of Vahakolo is in there. I'm just thinking through that Rugby World Cup squad. Of course, a lot of these ladies in the starting side were involved in that setup as well. Now, Australia 22 metres out from the try line. 2 minutes now remaining on the clock. Nassar goes across to Maya Stewart. She is a player who has a lot of tries in rugby union. Scored herself an important try in the last game, and that is going to be the try for Australia. Going in, it is Tarita who scores it. And it helps the scoreline. Takes it away from a chance of a 0. 1 second, we go like that, and we go like that as well. Real G. Who doesn't like sevens is the real question. I know that some people have gone off it because of the fact that we've seen like less teams involved. So the likes of if you were, let's say, a Kenyan Seven supporter and your side's no longer on the main circuit, some people have kind of gotten sick of the sides getting demoted. But then at the same time, I mean, Kenya's probably a terrible example because they fill up a stadium anyway because of the amount of support. And also we have got the Pets, I remember you, says Brandon. Now 1 minute remaining on the clock, 7 points to 31. The way that it sits. Time is back on. Can Australia get themselves another one? Tia Hines. Let's kick this one off. And all slapped back by Madison Levi. Ball there for the Aussies. Going to be playing 40 seconds remaining now. Maddie Levi, once again though, talked about how if they could shut her down, they'd have a great chance of winning. That's going to be a drop ball from Nicholas, I should say. And now chance for New Zealand to get something moving. Offload on the outside. Chance for Caitlin Vahakolo. Fins off to Rita. And it's just the missed tackles at the moment that are heavily hurting the Australians. Their tackle completion earlier on in the game was only around 30%. And it's probably still only around that after another missed tackle for the Australians there. I could be right, Hamish, 7 tries. I could be all by the Ferns, says Roy. I'm just a weirdo that comes in once every few months. And New Zealand have won. It's just a matter of how many tries they can get, says Jasmine. But yeah, that is another one added to the try-scoring list. How many tries is that now for New Zealand? I did say 7 tries, didn't I? And I think it has worked out that way. I did think it would be quite close, though. I thought we were going to be looking at like 28, 21 or something like that. I think I've bugged my foot. I was really tight and painful underneath. So here's Jason. I don't think I came as frequently anymore. Sorry, Hamish, but I've been busy lately. First, how are you, says Brandon? I'm doing very well. Excited for that final just around the corner as well. Taking place in the very near future. But nonetheless, New Zealand have managed to win this game. 36 points to 7. A convincing win for the Black Ferns here. But now we transfer over to that next live stream. It is starting in 3 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. Happy for the girls. Thanks, Hamish, says Studs Race. But yeah, popping straight over to Fiji versus France. They've got about a 10-minute build-up for that one, just to talk through what is happening in terms of the future for the Sevens. There is Perth next week and also some of the results that have taken place here as well. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.